Hi everybody. This is an experimental video. I've never done a live YouTube video before, so it's my first. Um, I thought this would be an easy way to get the information to you if you have any connection troubles on the first week in January. So excuse me, I'm still trying to get a hang of the camera and how to use it. So here we go. Okay, so today we're looking at layout features. Now this will feature, no pun intended, in almost all level 1 papers and almost all level 2 papers for essential skills communication. You all know what layout features are. You've done them before, you've done them in school, and you know them when you see them. So they're basically things like bullet points and colour and pictures, that sort of thing. There is a copy of this page in the chat for your class today. And it's also on page 73 of the booklet that I sent to you. I gave you a copy for use in class and I sent you a copy by email and told you to print it and bring it home with you. So you should have that in your house with you. But if you don't, here it is now, okay? So layout features basically are things that we use to make a document look more attractive and to get the audience attention to the bits that we think are most important. So if you have a wee look at this is just a page from a magazine called Health and Beauty. And if you have a look at this page, you can probably identify quite a few layout features. I'm a terrible YouTuber. I'm never going to make a living at this, but that's not the point. There's no money coming for this. It's just to help you find your way around this. Have a look at the page and see what layout features you can identify there. Okay, well, the most obvious one is the use of images, right? So we've got two images there. One's a sad face, one's a happy smiley face with the hands up in the air, all happy. The background is pink, so it's a lovely, warm, welcoming sort of a colour. Some of the font, now the word font, F-O-N-T, just refers to the letters that are used, okay? The type of lettering that's used. So some of the font is of a different colour. So you've got yellow and white. Some is bigger than others. So for example, the font here is bigger than further up. So this is small, this is bigger. And some of the font type is a wee bit different. You've also got highlighting, like you've got italics here, and I suppose that's kind of bold, okay? So you've got images, you've got background color, you've got different font size, different font type, different font color, and you've also got highlighting in the form of bold and italics. That's the sort of thing you're looking for. The most common ones that you'll find in your exam will be bold, bullet points, main heading, subheadings. They'd be the common ones. Also the use of paragraphs. So let me just have a wee look here because there is, okay, this is two-sided, that's strange. Okay, some of it's one way up and some of it's the other way up. That is most unusual. Okay, I did have another one in here. So if we look at this, for example, here's a page advertising a luxury spa conference. Now, the first thing you'll notice is the pictures. So they have a lovely picture of people like nicely dressed. It's a sunny evening, flashy cars, so it looks a bit luxurious. Then you have a lovely picture of someone looking very relaxed. So it's very attractive. Oh, who wouldn't want to relax like that? It's really appealing. And then we have a picture of some of the products that are used. And then the dates are highlighted in a different color than the others. So we've got columns, and the dates here are standing out because they're in bold and the background is blue. So that really makes it stand out. So immediately you can just look and see, oh, would those dates suit me? This little bit where you're actually invited, all the words are in capital letters and it's a different font type to the others. You've got some italics here to make things like times stand out from the other information. You've bigger font, you've block capitals, you've different color font here, so the color makes some of the information stand out. You've also got a logo for the Princess Trust, and you have another logo up here. And then you have this little, I suppose you could call it a text box up here in color, which makes that information stand out a wee bit. Okay, so there's a lot of use of layout features in that. So if we just have a quick look now at the notes here, which you have, and then I'll get you to do a little exercise. Okay, so the notes here go through a list of layout features that are common. So bullet points are very common. You all know what they look like. Numbering and lettering is another type of bullet point, but you can say it separately if you wish. Main heading, subheading. So main heading, there's the main heading of this particular document. Common layout techniques is a subheading, so it's a heading for a section of the text. It's not for the whole text. The main heading is the heading for the whole document. The subheading is just for a part of the text. And then you have in a web page, so that's another subheading telling you these are things that you would find on a web page. So bullets, numbering and lettering, main heading, subheading. A caption is the text that you'll see under a photograph. So if you say bought your local newspaper and there's a picture of Mary Jones, who has won a trophy for Best Garden of the Year, then the caption will tell you who she is and what she's won and what she won it for. That's what the caption is. Font size, type and color, we've said already. Font is the type of lettering used, so it could be different size, different type. So you could have Times New Roman, you could have Calibri, you could have Comic Sans or whatever. And then font color. So all you have to do if you're asked to name techniques is just name them. Just say what they are, like that. Columns we saw there a moment ago, and a text box would be this sort of thing here. And that's where you want a particular piece of information to stand out from the rest because it's important. You also have borders and shading. Border is just when around the outside of the text box is a different colour, and shading is when the background either of the text box or an area of the document is a different colour. So it's like a background colour. So here we have a text box which has a border, red border, and it has shading in yellow. Highlighting would be bold, underline, or italics. Don't just say highlighting, name it. So bold is dark letters like this, underline is a line underneath, and italic is slanty writing. Footnotes, forget about, you don't need that. Now, in a web page, you will have tabs. So you know at the top of a web page, if you click at the top of a web page, you will see different things that you can click. So for example, if I go onto our web page here, so you would have different tabs here at the top that you can actually click on. I don't know if you can see that to get to different parts of the website. Okay. Sorry, I can't see now what you're seeing, so I'll need to go back. There we go. A hyperlink, of course, is where you have writing with a blue line underneath. And writing with a blue line underneath simply means that you can click on it and it will take you to another website or another part of the website. The address bar is where you would put in the, for example, here, the address bar is where, which way do I go? Yeah, here, where you would actually type in the address of the website that you want, okay? And the search bar or search box, so again, if I were to go, again, I don't know if you'll see this or not, but if I were to go to the, that's not going to work very well, to the college website, you can, there are places where I can do a staff search, for example. I can search for colleagues' names. Okay, so in the chat there is a document now. One or two of you will have done this already. But if you have, just do the next one. So some of you have seen this already, and it actually tells you some of the techniques here. So for example, there's a main heading, then we have a subheading, we have an image, we have a logo. That's another one that's not on the list here. Logo is a picture that stands for the company, okay, or the organization or the charity. So McDonald's logo would be the big M with the golden arches, okay, and I showed you the Princess Trust logo a minute ago. Splashes of information, so that's a kind of a text box which is background color. It has shading. It also has a border, a white border. And what's not mentioned here is that the font is in different sizes and in different colors as well. And there's a background color here. Okay. Now here, if you want to take a moment, just pause the video and see how many techniques you can identify in this. And when you're ready, start the video again. Okay, so first of all, we have two columns, so I think this is meant to be 2 pages. We have images. We also have different colored fonts, so we have yellow and white, and we have different size of fonts, so that's bigger than this. That also looks as if it's in bold. Okay, this is certainly in bold here, okay. We have text boxes with borders. I won't say shading because the background's the same color as the rest of the document. All right, try a different one this time, and again, this is in the chat. And it's also in your booklet. If you have the booklet there, that'll be easier to look at, okay? So again, pause the video and see how many you can find. Okay, so here again we have columns. So we have columns. Oh, this would be a leaflet probably folded in 3. You have a main heading, you have a subheading, you have a text box, you have background color, so you've got shading within the text box, you have bold, you have bullet points here with bold to make the little subheading stand out. You have images, okay, and again you have several logos at the bottom to show what charities are supporting this initiative. So you may have thought of 1 or 2 more. If you have, send them in the chat. And the last one here, again, if you want to just pause the video and have a wee look. Okay, so quite a few here. Again, you have text boxes or splashes of information. You have different colored font, different size of font, different type of font. You have bold, you have columns, you have images, you have a website, although I don't know if that's necessarily a layout technique, but you have subheadings as well, okay? And you have shading as well. Okay, so those are layout features. So just go over that and make sure that you know what they are. And then you can revise from this whenever you need to, because we're going to look then at your sample paper, your mock paper, to see how that worked out.